everybody, welcome back to another video by DissociaDID. Today we're going to be talking about why some alters in DID and OSDD systems might be different genders or different sexes than the body. My name is Soren, my pronouns are he, him, and I'm going to be talking to you about this today. Before we start, let's quickly go over how DID develops. DID is a dissociative disorder that develops due to repeated childhood trauma. The trauma and dissociation results in the child experiencing amnesia and compartmentalizing the memories of those trauma so that they can continue to live a functional life without being burdened by the awareness that that is happening to them. At around the ages of 7 to 9, the personality would integrate during normal childhood development. This means that it would coalesce into one solid personality, which is what most people have. However, due to the amnesia walls that have been put in place to protect this child from the awareness of the trauma that they're experiencing, their identity is unable to fully integrate. This results in multiple identities that continue to develop separately, some which will retain the memories of the trauma that they're experiencing, and some that will be unaware of the trauma and able to process daily life whilst being completely unaware that anything bad is happening to them. These are known as EPs, emotional parts, and ANPs, apparently normal parts. For this video, the most important thing to remember is that DID develops in childhood, and children have very, very basic understandings of sex, gender, and biology. A lot of what they know will likely be from direct experience and from media that they consume, which is likely to be highly stereotyped. So, why might some alters present as a different gender or sex to the external body? Here's a handful of reasons. Not an exhaustive list, just an idea to get your head around it a little bit if this is confusing to you. One reason may be knowing people of that gender that the child relates to. For example, let's go stereotypical at first, but it can still be a very real thing that happens. A female figure in their life who is very loving and protective. The child who is experiencing trauma may feel like if they had that person who was caring and protective around all the time, then maybe they wouldn't be experiencing their trauma, or maybe they'd be able to cope with the fallout of it better. This person who happens to be female makes them feel safer. This may result in developing a female alter who holds that role, for example with us, a caretaker like Sally, or if that person was a male, then the same thing, a male alter who holds that role. This can simply be because it's familiar to that child. Remember, these can be very, very young children. Another way to look at it is that perhaps the child only understands gender through stereotypes that they've seen in media, specifically children's media. There's a lot of stereotypes in it generally, or at least there was when I was younger. This might include stereotypes like male characters being strong and protective, and in some cases maybe more violent, aggressive in terms of protecting. Because this is what they're seeing in the media that they're watching, these children who are experiencing trauma may develop alters who are protective men because they feel like they need to be protected. And what they're seeing is mostly men who are taking on that protective, strong role. Obviously, adults on the other hand know that stereotypical portrayals of characters are just that, stereotypical, and not necessarily accurate to the real world. Children don't know that, they only know what they've experienced in their couple of years of life. However, if a child saw the opposite, like female figures either in their life or in media being the protective, strong, or aggressive figures, then they're more likely to develop female alters who are strong, protective, or aggressive. It's important to remember that the way alters develop relate to what the brain of a traumatized child believed would be most helpful for their survival. Children have a very limited understanding of society and the world as a whole at these ages, and a child who is developing DID may be even more disconnected than the average child, especially if they are experiencing, for example, extreme neglect. Another reason that a child might develop a male alter might be that in their experience, they may see in real life or in media that men are more likely to respect other men versus women. Or it could be vice versa, depending on their personal situation. Maybe they see that people respect women in their life more than they respect men. If this is the case for them, they may feel like they would be more likely to be heard, respected, or even saved and protected from their trauma if they had been born with a different biological sex. In other situations, children who present as the opposite binary sex to what they were born with in their body may be due to experiences of sexual abuse. A child may believe that if they had different body parts there, their abuser would not be harming them in that way, or would not be interested in them like that. Again, adults know, and some children know, that anyone of any sex or gender can be sexually abused. However, a 5-year-old, for example, might only be able to understand that they're being touched on a body part that someone of the opposite sex wouldn't have. And therefore they may correlate that in their brain to, well, if I didn't have this, then they couldn't touch me there because it wouldn't be there. Therefore, I would feel safer, or perhaps I would be safer if I were the opposite sex. Developing alters of other biological sexes or genders can also potentially relate to feeling extremely disconnected from your physical body, or feeling extremely dissociated and disconnected from particular body parts. This could be because of abuse and trauma, or it could be just because of extreme dissociation. Feeling extremely disconnected from your body or very dissociated towards it can also result in alters who are agender or non-binary, or alters who struggle to understand the concept of gender and what it means to them. It's hard to understand the gender that you feel you are, or if you are a new alter, to assign yourself a gender if you feel so completely disconnected from the body you're in, or are extremely confused about or unable to understand that body or sex or gender because of trauma and dissociation. You can be unable or just unwilling, and that can result in alters who just don't know what gender they are, or define themselves as maybe gender fluid or agender, non-binary, anything on the spectrum. Moving towards later on experiences, there's also the topic of how fusion and integration can impact the gender identity of alters. Fusion is when the amnesia barriers separating two or more alters begin to degrade, and memories are then more able to integrate. These two or more alters can essentially fuse together, combining the experiences, memories, personality traits, etc. of the two original alters and becoming one new alter who, while they may share those memories, experiences, and some personality traits of the original alters, they are also their own individual new alter who will have their own personality traits and their own appearance. Sometimes when a male alter fuses with a female alter, the resulting alter can be non-binary or gender fluid. This is what happened with Kaya when Nin, a female alter, and Kyle, a male alter, fused. Kaya was non-binary gender fluid. Like I said, this can happen, but not always. For example, you can have a male alter and a female alter fuse and the result be a female alter, or a male alter and a female fuse and a male alter be the result. Or you can have a male alter and a female alter fuse and have a some other gender, any other gender, anything. It could be anything, but that can be a reason. For example, I think that when I was Kaya came into being, I'm pretty damn sure that I was gender fluid because I was the fusion of Kyle and Nin, which was male and female, and that was how my brain decided to conceptualize that. During fusion, memories are shared, and this can also impact the result of what the fused alter's gender will be. For example, if an alter with a lot of sexual trauma memories fuse, this may impact the outcome of the fused alter. Like I said, these things will apply to some alters and not others, some systems and not others. Other people may end up with a gender at random. Could be for multiple other reasons, but those are some of the reasons that it is important to consider when you're meeting someone and thinking, oh, this system has alters that don't fit the assigned at birth body sex, and they have separate genders. And it's also important not to judge someone and assume their gender based on what they look like. For example, I am more than happy to wear makeup because I thoroughly enjoy the artistry of it. I like bright colors. I like exploring with things. I'm very artistic. It makes me feel better, and it also feels kind of like a mask to me. I'm putting on a like war paint, especially to be seen online, which is scary as. But I'm still a man, as Soren. I am a man existing in a assigned female at birth body. This video will have a lot of outtakes. It will also have another secret video that comes from it because I've got triggered as during this video, and there are lots of little outtakey bits. There's going to be funny bloopers, and then there's going to be a whole separate video which is showing the reality of behind the scenes and what it can be like for a system to film a video and how alters work together to be able to work this way, or at least that's how it looks for our system. If you are a member of our Patreon, which you can join for free and check it out, you will be able to get both those videos depending on what tier you are on. You'll be able to get bloopers for every single video we make, which are funny, they are fully edited, and they are very amusing to watch. Also, some tiers will be able to have access to extra videos, for example, things about dissociation, the real rawness behind the scenes, switches, system communication, and other tiers get whole exclusive videos that are never shared anywhere else publicly. That may be videos that we felt were too vulnerable to share publicly online, videos that were not edited in time and the system changed that people get exclusive access to. You essentially get a glimpse into our past, and whole videos that never made it to air per se. You also get to suggest and vote on what videos you want us to make next. What do you want to see us make? Tell us how we can make the Dissociative project better for you, more accessible for you, more helpful and safe for you. You can vote, you can suggest, you can also get hold of merch, hand-drawn art like that. You can get posters, you can get hoodies, you can get stickers, you can get all sorts of stuff. Also, we are in a court case against a man called Sergio Costa, and we have a whole playlist about what he did to us, including things like screenshots and updates of every single court step that we went to. The playlist is called What Happened to DissociaDID. We are still in court against this man, and it has been going on for 4 years since the first legal letters were exchanged. We are unable to afford the lawyer's costs to be able to keep fighting for justice, so we fund this through Crowd Justice. Crowd Justice is a crowdfunding site specifically for legal cases, and it connects directly to our lawyers. How it works is you donate some money to Crowd Justice if you would like to support us, and Crowd Justice sends that money straight to our lawyers. It bypasses us completely. We're never allowed to touch it. It never comes into our bank account. We can't do anything with it, and it can only be used for this case with Sergio Costa. So it's completely out of our hands, completely handled by our lawyers and that law firm. And that is how we are able to fight for our justice. Hopefully be able to get this over forever, and Sergio Costa will leave us alone and we can both move on with our lives, which would be great. So if you would love to support us, or perhaps even if you would just like to support us, please consider donating to crowdjustice.com/case/DissociaDID. And if you still want to help but you can't donate, please consider sharing the Crowd Justice link, sharing our videos explaining what's happened, or the playlist called What Happened to DissociaDID, to help us escape this situation. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell, because YouTube will not tell you if we upload a video if you don't ring the bell, and then you might never see us again. So please don't forget to do that. We hope you have a wonderful day, and we will see you in the next video. Lots of love, everybody. Bye.